Your source for all things Texas Tech. This is the Ask Level podcast from Double T 97.3.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome into another episode of the Ask Level podcast. Alongside Chris Level, I'm Chois Woodman.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Woodman, this podcast, per usual, brought to you by our friends at Cantex Roofing and Construction, which, if you're part of the hailstorms lately and the crazy weather, you might need Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. They are about to be many people's best friends because it's just Mother Nature has been on a tear, Woodman. So
no question, it has been crazy weather everywhere. So hopefully everybody's staying safe, but also crazy in the sports world. A whole lot has happened since you and I talked a few short days ago. Of course, Texas Tech softball comes ever so close to a national championship, but falls just short. You have the House settlements and the NCAA, so that's got a lot of parts and a lot of unpacking that comes with that. Of course, we are under 90 days to go for Texas Tech football season.
when you take a trip, speaking of unpacking,
Okay.
are you
I love when
like
you go this route. That's my
are
favorite.
you one that when you get back from a trip, like you immediately unpack, or are you one that like kind of sporadically over the next day or three slowly unpacks the suitcase as it sits in a closet or in a room or something? Like which one are you?
I feel like I'm going to get judged by you by this answer, but very much the slow poke with it. Like we
Okay.
just got done camping this past weekend, and I'm like, we're gonna wait we're gonna push this off to unload and unpack everything. We get the essentials out, but that's it.
I got you. Yeah, no,
You're the unpack immediately, aren't you?
I'm judging you very much.
I knew
You
it.
you are very much like my sweet wife.
Okay.
She'll let that suitcase sit there and kind of pull stuff out of it like over the next like week. I literally I don't care whether we've gotten home from a basketball trip at 4 in the morning, or if we've been gone for a week and a half on some long trip, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't function properly without totally unpacking, having
No,
everything put back up,
no.
and like whether it's dirty clothes, the suitcase has got to go up, and then it's like, oh, okay, now I'm back. I just it's my own sick, twisted brain, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. So anyway, I just heard you say the word unpack, and so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna throw this out there to Woodman.
So you're
I'm not
telling me when we get home at 4 a.m. from one of these football trips, you're
a
doing it
thousand
right
percent,
then?
1,000%.
You're
Yep.
nuts. You're
Yep. I
crazy.
know. I know. I just feel like it's going to weigh on me that I'm going to wake up, okay, and then now I got to deal with it, and it's like I won't be able to rest easy.
Wow.
And isn't that stupid? Yeah, but that's just it's like I'm just
You know
somebody
what?
that's got to
It
I don't like loose ends, man. I gotta get it done
it
and all
fits your
that.
personality. So, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised.
Oh, that was a shot.
Not at all. Not at all.
Oh,
Not at
that
all.
was a shot. Yeah,
No,
I don't like loose ends, man. So
I get
but
it.
yeah, we finish stuff up.
There we go.
Yeah, man. Softball house settlement, football recruiting
Yep.
very active right now.
Very. Yep.
Yeah, lot going on.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off with softball. Man, I kind of went into the weekend saying, it's Texas. The opponent doesn't matter, but I think when I was there, I'm like, dang it, I hate that we lost to these guys. I hate that it's that burnt orange when it happened. Obviously, I mean, no one really expected it to go this far. I guess you didn't know what would happen when you have Najee Kennedy. You My expectation was that, hey, if things go really well, you might get to the Women's College World Series. But getting one game away was pretty amazing. Obviously, you want to finish it off, but this softball program's not done, as we've seen. The reception was really good for them coming back home. Just seemed like you ran out of gas with your pitcher and your team, and unfortunately, you fall a game short there.
Yeah, dang.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't think that this is the case because I've seen so many people discuss how proud they are,
Mhm.
how accomplished, and ultimately you're in it to win the whole thing, right? Once you
Right.
get there, it's like
Right.
you don't want to be. But sometimes this may have been quicker than anybody would have anticipated as far
Yeah.
as the the program's turnaround. I mean, it has to be quicker than anybody would have thought of. Like that's the most boneheaded statement to even suggest at all. Of course, it was. Um, but I mean, I think it had been well documented that Texas had all these losses. Contrary to popular belief and all that, Texas isn't perfect. They don't have the perfect softball program. I know that many people would lead you to believe that they are
Mhm.
the holy grail of softball. No, they've shown up to this stage before and failed miserably many, many, many times.
Several. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get that out there. But maybe this is fuel to your fire for next year. This is, lesson learned on for all involved. Hey, we need a little more pitching to get to this point. We need a little more pop in the lineup. Need a little more depth. We can handle this stage. I mean, I don't know. I mean, all the things, but yeah, the way that the final game went sucks, but it shouldn't take away from the lengthy list of accomplishments in an unprecedented year. I mean, it's been fascinating, Woodman, because I know you've seen this too, but
Mhm.
people are invested a bit. They're curious. Okay, what's coming? Like what? Who? When does the season start again? What? I mean, all the anticipation, all that. I think that's awesome. I think there's been
Yeah.
some softball fans that have been, I don't know, converted or have been you've yeah you've introduced some folks to your sport and your program, and people
Sure.
have enjoyed it. They enjoyed themselves, including. I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but including myself. I mean, yeah, well documented. I was watching a ton of that,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
6 weeks ago, no clue on any of it. But yeah, I did. I parachuted in, and I was able to hit the ground running. Do you know the parachuters? You always see that, like the ones that come down at the
Oh
games
yeah.
or in a movie.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, I'd be the guy that would like come in hot and just the parachute would end up kind of dragging me along. And then there's some of these dudes that just like they're pulling those ropes and it's like
Oh yeah.
they just hit it just perfect and like
Oh yeah.
hit the ground running and then pull the parachute up and it's just so clean. I would not be this person. I
That's
would
one of
be
my
a
favorite
mess.
things at a sporting event. I mean, you get the field view on that. We had it a
Yeah.
couple of years ago. Did you see the one? I'm getting sidetracked here, but at Arizona, I think two different guys like had bad crash landings on that. It was pretty. I
Yes.
think it was like an Arizona baseball game. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's just yeah, to wrap up our salt. I mean, Coach Glasgow,
Yeah.
I mean, the story out there about and maybe a ton of people are aware of it, maybe not many people are aware of it. I don't know, but the story out there about him getting into college coaching and taking people hunting in Mexico and the drug cartels are like, Yeti, don't you don't want to take these people down there anymore, man. And so he's
Yeah.
like, well, dang, this is kind of what I do.
Yeah.
And it's like talking to his dad. It's like, well, son, you can come pick for him, but God, why don't you go do something you enjoy?
Yeah.
And so he did. And it's just I mean, drug
Yeah,
cartels, pig farming, softball.
it's
It all
amazing.
makes perfect sense when you're talking about this guy.
It's amazing.
Um, but so much of this is really, it's not about, it is, but it isn't. It's not about Nigel Kennedy. I feel like that's been so this whole thing has really been about this guy. He's the one that got Nigel Kennedy here. He's the one that knew all these people. He's the one that that kind of set the sport on its ear. Um, and I don't know how many years he's left. You know, he's going to do this.
Sure.
I think may not be as many as people would want, but I think it's a lot of fun right now, and I wish he'd have been here several years, prior. But yeah, we'll and again, keep an eye on the old portal window, people, or the portal class. You'll start to you'll start to see more and more of that come out as this week goes along, and if you're into it, you I think you'll like what you get there.
I mean, you gave us fair warning of that last week, and just after the championship, you land the All-American catcher from Ohio State that had 25 dingers, 455 average, and it did seem like you were. I mean, you weren't a perfect team this year. It did seem like you were missing a little extra pop in the lineup, so that helps
Yes.
there. Um, you need probably a little more depth at pitcher in case you run into it. So we'll see how all this goes, but yeah. So let's go there
It's
for. Go ahead.
it is on the way.
Yeah. Fat, sexy, bald guy from Twitter says, "Who will have the better recruiting class this year? McGuire, McCasland, or Glasgow?"
I loved this question. I loved this question. I really think at the end of the day, I have to say Joey McGuire did, just because of the sheer numbers
Mhm.
and how much it just kind of set the sport on its ear a bit. The way that anonymous, these guys are resetting the market, or they're screwing everything up,
Oh
or
yeah.
they got another one. They're doing this. I think it's that, because I guess if you're willing to tell me that in Grant's conversation that he gets credit for JT Toppin recruiting him back
Yeah.
versus he just returning player is what he is. I mean, I guess
Sure.
that technically he could have. But if you allow me to add JT into the mix
Sure.
and all that, then and Christian too, I guess, for that matter,
Right.
that's pretty salty. But if we're just talking recruiting,
Right.
so however you want to phrase this, it's probably Joey and yeah, but and again, we don't know what Jerry what all they have got in store. But you'll have some presents to open up under the softball tree here in the coming days and weeks.
Yeah. Already
Yeah,
seeing some of that. So yeah, I think
yeah.
it's awesome where you are, and then kind of the flip side of that, a question from Cinnamon Level says, "What is going on with Tech baseball? No new pitching coach. I see activity of players going in the portal, but no new players coming in. Follow D1 baseball and see other teams signing from the portal. Is Tadlock becoming Marshall Sharp and just doesn't have it anymore?"
Who was this question from? Who did you say? Cinnamon?
Cinnamon Goodrich on the Twitter. So
Oh, okay.
there you
Okay. I was
go.
like, I thought you said, and the next question from Cinnamon Level,
Yeah.
and I'm like, is Cinnamon Level a name? But you
I
said
should have
Cinnamon.
put the comma there a little bit better,
Yeah, I
but yeah,
got you.
there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is why, see, this is also why you don't unpack when you get home from a trip. You just like slowly pull it out of the suitcase, right? I
That's
mean,
right.
of course you didn't put a
I
comma
live
there.
out of the suitcase for a few extra days. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I can't really tell you the timetable from a baseball standpoint. I think a lot of because unlike softball, you're dealing with an MLB draft. You've got
Mhm.
I mean, you don't have that many teams playing still left
Right.
on everything, but some of what you may want to get done isn't necessarily allowed to play out as quickly as maybe you would want,
Right.
because of seasons not being over with. Although there's just not that many of seasons still going for teams and everything like that. As you and I sit here and chat, I don't I can't offer up much there, Woodman. You may have a better feel for that than I do. I don't know if they're any closer to. I guarantee you, Tim has an idea of who he wants to hire.
Yep.
This is a let's wait and let them finish up their season. This is a timing thing, or this is, hey, we're trying to talk to three people. We're trying to offer the job, and we're trying to talk them into it. I mean, who knows? But it's not like you're sitting on your hands. And I was told recently that there is some NIL activity
Yeah.
as it relates to baseball.
Mhm.
But people want to see results. They want to see the news. They want to feel a reason to hope and all that stuff. So anyway, I'll let you kind of finish up whatever I couldn't get to right there, and I'll let you weigh in. We'll move on to the next question.
Well, I think you nailed it. It's a lot of times when these things take a little bit of time. A lot of times in baseball, especially, it is you're waiting on seasons to end. So that could be this week where you saw someone's season end in the Super Regionals, and you'll see an announcement this week, or it could be after Omaha. But I think there very much is someone in mind. If it's not multiple someones that the Texas Tech's going after on that front. And I do think you'll see more activity in the portal and NIL for baseball, because I think and honestly, level softball success combined with baseball lack of success probably has to do with baseball donors specifically wanting to spend more money, um, and get that back to where you're one of the top teams in the Big 12. So, one more recruiting question, then we'll get to the
Yeah. So what you're saying is that because people are seeing softball succeed, it's like, hey,
yeah.
let's help out the yeah. And I've heard all these theories, and I guess I'd buy into a little bit of everything, but I think in some ways for Tech baseball, one of the worst things that could happen is this softball run. Because if you've got only so much time and money to
Mhm.
allocate, you're going, you know what? It's not been going well, and this is a lot of fun over here. This looks like a lot of fun. I think I'll choose to, you know, follow this program or spend my time over here or buy season tickets over here, whatever. But I think your point is a very valid one. It's like, hey man, we could do it over here. Let's make a little noise. Because the dollar figures in some of these other sports, it's
Mhm.
still big, but relatively speaking,
Sure.
a little goes a long way or can go a long way. And well, hey Chris, define little. Well, I don't know if I'm prepared to do that, but you get what I'm saying. It's not like
It's a lot
you,
different. Yeah.
yeah, it's a
Comparatively.
scale. It's a scale, but it's gotten more expensive. The SEC, they pay their rosters very well, and now we'll see what this house settlement and all that, like what, because
Yes.
I could make the argument that SEC baseball may get hurt worse than anything else,
You might be right.
but I don't know if we are smart enough to grasp all that just yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, wasn't it A&M that had a reported $15 million baseball roster, and then they didn't make the postseason? Consensus number one before the season. So yeah,
I mean, it's sports are hard, man.
they are hard. They are
Yeah,
hard.
sports are difficult. Yeah.
One more recruiting type question level before we move on to that house conversation. It says, Level, are there any local high school recruits that Tech is currently pursuing? That one is from Jacob.
Local high school recruits football wise?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you know this one very well. Chase Campbell
Yep.
is one. He's got a whole bunch of visits set up. He's a receiver at Friendship, and I think some view him as receiver, some view him as maybe like something that you could play in the back end of a defense, and
Mm-hmm.
it just depends on who you talk to. I think Tech is recruiting him as a receiver slash athlete. I'm of the opinion, based on my educated guess here, he's either going to end up a Red Raider or an Arkansas Razorback.
That's what I'd guess.
I think that, yeah, but he's a 4-star guy. I think that he's very good. I think there's some younger players in the city that I think that are on the radar and everything like that. But Chase Campbell would be the one that I would tell you if you're asking about that specifically. There's nobody else really in that vein, I think, close to his caliber.
Yeah, as far as the 26 guys, I think he's probably the only one Tech's after right now that I know of. And then wrapping up the recruiting, big weekend this past weekend. I think there's coming weekends. This is a big time, obviously, for football recruiting specifically, as you got the camps going and that sort of thing, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. You had over a dozen prospects on campus over the weekend. And this is where it gets tricky because it depends on when people watch this. But I think
Sure.
at last check, you had added an offensive tackle,
Mhm.
a running back. Some of this you may not know, Woodman, because some of this may not even be out yet.
Mhm.
A safety, a defensive
Defensive
end,
end, yeah.
and maybe more coming.
Okay.
And then there's more visits coming this weekend, and there's more visits coming the weekend after that. This is the heavy lift as it relates to recruiting for college football programs, and so you're putting. But we'll see how it shakes out and all those things. But you've added, your this coming recruiting class has got multiple 4-star prospects in it. So we'll kind of see how what it looks like and how they finish up.
Yeah, very active, obviously, and like it's a different game now that you're getting these guys to come to campus. It's not what it
Well,
used to be.
no, I would say this, that this is with what they are bringing onto campus
Mhm.
collectively. This is unprecedented. This has never been done before,
Mhm.
which is great, but you have to get some of them.
Right.
And I think they are. Now the other thing would be is like, okay, now you need to hold on to them. You need to get more of them. Okay,
Sure.
so you're not done yet, but now it's like, okay, can we ultimately hang on to what we've accumulated here? And that's, there's obviously different phases and all the things, but this is where I can't remember if I said this to you before. This is where I think your portal class, ironically enough, really has a big time chance to make a huge impression on the next wave of high school players.
Okay.
Did we talk about this?
We haven't talked about this yet.
Yeah, because I just think you get these big time high school kids on campus and you're showing them this new building, but it's like these portal guys, some of these dudes are just like, they look the part. They're old.
Yeah.
They're polished. They're ready to roll. They look like they were made in a factory. I mean, like, so much so that you've got this collection of them that your team just looks vastly different. Anyway, my point is, you like let these high school kids go, that's what they look like around
Hmm.
here. I mean, this is what, and they may not know. Yeah, the kid he just showed up here like 3 months ago. He hadn't been here the whole time. Like, I mean, whatever. I
Right.
just think that group, along with your returners and all that stuff, but they have a big time opportunity to make a huge impression on a lot of these high school kids in these past couple of weeks, and will in the upcoming couple of weeks too.
Yeah. Yeah, all makes sense. It does.
It's the least they could do for you, based on how well you've taken care of some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say that tongue in cheek.
Speaking of taking care of athletes, the House
Oh, here we
versus
go.
versus NCAA settlement passes this week, and was this surprising? Because I thought we heard a date that was going to be much later in the month, and then it just kind of drops on us on Friday. What happened there?
Yeah, there was some different. I don't even know what the term was, but there were some different dates. I mean, like it was almost like legal delays. It's
Uh-huh.
like, hey, I'm going to take a little bit more time. I'm going to take a little bit more time, and the most the most recent one we had seen was almost like June the 27th,
Yeah, that's the one.
like kind of kicking the can down the road a little bit and trying to either reach an agreement, talk it out, more time to comprehend everything, whatever. But then, yeah, lo and behold, the lady softball team was sitting there battling Texas on a Friday night, and then boom, you just get this thing dropped in your lap
Yep.
like about 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and it kind of sent everybody scrambling a bit. But yeah, it's that's a landmark day in college athletics, is what some will tell you. Others will tell you, yeah, this is just the beginning of more mess that we are in store for, and more discussion about collective bargaining and employment status, and more litigation as it relates to NIL, and on and on and on it goes. And so, but I think most schools and administrators and everybody kind of wanted this.
Mhm.
I think most are kind of willing to play within the lines, but the lines are going to be crossed. The lines are going to be muddied. I don't think we're at the end here on ultimately creating some sort of normalcy. It's just this sport, man. It's like we don't know the playoff. We don't know. We
Yeah.
don't know. We don't know if this salary cap that was just approved by this judge is real or enforceable, or your little NIL rules. And it's like you're going to come in and tell somebody, no, you can't give Junior this. Junior doesn't deserve this. This isn't market value.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. Hey, what if I just don't tell your little committee what I'm giving Junior? Okay. What if I just don't do that? Like, how are you going to know what Junior is getting?
Right.
You know what? You know what I mean? I mean,
Oh yeah.
and what if I write in the contract, Junior is going to do this list of 20 different things, and this is what I'm paying him. Oh, seems like a fair deal. And then what happens if Junior only does 19 of those 20 things? You're never going to enforce it. You're never going to go look at it. You're never going to know if Junior did anything. Why I've chosen to use the name Junior here in my little story and analogy, I don't know. But here we
Wondered.
are. Uh, I just kind of I just kind
Junior,
of
huh?
kept going with
There we go.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot here. I do think that this is an attempt to create more black and white status with college athletics on what you can and cannot do. That's the goal. I just don't know if we're there yet. And I think this will be pushed back on. It will be followed, but it will be again a bit hazy and kind of muddy at times as
Yep.
we kind of figure out what the new normal is.
So Leah asks along these lines, was this continuance a play to catch us all off guard? Hearing the rule isn't effective till July 1st. Is that true?
Wait, hold on. What now?
So was the continuance a play to catch us all off guard? So basically the June 27th date that we had heard, and then it drops on the
Oh,
Friday.
maybe I don't think that was the intent. That's not my understanding. What I think is, you look back on it now, this was a procedural date. Like, I'm going to give myself some more time, and then I think maybe, yeah, guess what? I just don't need all this time. Like, boom,
Sure.
we've got this work through and all that stuff. But that's some speculation on my part. But no. So this is all very confusing.
Very much.
And
Yeah.
I understand that people have questions and people don't really grasp it. And it's people like us and our jobs to try to explain it. And even for us, it's a bit tricky. But you are allowed to you're allowed to operate under the old set of rules you were up until midnight that night when it became official. Um, you're going to continue to read about how many people out there. Texas Tech was very much involved in this as well. Front loaded contracts and didn't really tap into rev share at all for different sports or
Yeah.
whatever. And that in January or in whatever next April, that they will have a lot more rev share than one would think next year because they didn't use it this year because they were operating under that. It's very blurry,
Yeah.
but yeah. So we may have to spend some more time on that
I think we will. I think we will
the
because there's
next
a lot of
show
questions.
because yes, and they're valid questions, and I
Yeah.
get it, but there's going to be some football teams out there next year that are able to spend well above 20 to 25 million if they played their cards correctly. Even though some people's entire university rev
Mhm.
share number is going to be at like what 22.
Right.
So it'll take some time to explain. But yeah, it's it's new. It's what most wanted, but we still don't have a good grasp of what the new normal is, and um, all that stuff. So
Well, you put this on my radar, I think in October or something. I mean, it was somewhere in there of what was coming. I mean, you told me
mhm.
about this and there's still so many questions that come with it. Like what the Big East basketball that doesn't play football, what do they get to
Right.
do with it? And okay, how much enforcement will there be on this whole NIL clear NCAA clearinghouse? So how much are they going to actually enforce that? And it's just that there's so many questions that come with it, and it feels like so many of these things that has happened in the NCAA in the last 5 years is purely drinking from a fire hose, and it is hard to know what we're actually going to get in the coming years. I think we can guess at it, but it's hard to predict how things will actually be done and enforced. Because usually enforced is something that the NCAA doesn't do a whole lot of nowadays.
And again, you say unpack earlier, and so I go off on a deal.
I like the theme you're sticking
Do,
with here.
do you know anybody that's ever attempted to drink out of a fire hose? Because I feel like it would like drown you or knock you out.
I think that's the point. It would be pretty difficult.
Yeah, it's like that hose, and it's like got this metal and this canvas hose,
Oh yeah,
and it's got this metal like thingy that you have to like
the nozzle.
pull.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
the not like
yeah.
it's like industrial, right? And then the water just comes flooding out, and you're like, ah! I mean, so
Oh
there,
sure.
yeah, there's no realistically any way to drink out of a fire hose. I
You
don't
know what?
think.
My brother-in-law is a firefighter, so maybe I will attempt this for you. Check out
No,
your
I
hypothesis and
no,
see if
please
we can
no.
get
You,
it
you
on
you might like
video.
rip your cheek out or something. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't need all
Okay.
that.
Yeah, we still need to do these episodes.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
stay away
that's
from
right.
that. All right, one last one, and you kind of probably already answered this. Our last question is about Nigeria Kennedy. It says, how is Nigeria Kennedy signing that new $1 million deal if the House versus NCAA settlement just happened?
Been done since April.
There you go. So
Yeah,
basically what you said before, that these things
yeah,
have already been.
been done since April. Yeah, there's plenty that was done in the previous weeks across the board at a variety of schools before this thing hit home. People knew that this was a possibility that this was coming. They knew the deadline. Everybody tried to conduct business as much as they could up until that, all that stuff. So, anyways, but yeah, that's the deal there.
There you go. That makes a lot of sense. Well, we will unpack this. There you go. A little bit more there. A little bit further, the House NCAA settlement stuff. We still have some football questions in the bank. I promise if you've sent those in, we will get to some more football questions in the coming weeks. Here, I'll even give you a teaser for one. Who are the top 3 coaches with the Big 12 coaches with the most pressure on them heading into the 2025 season? So we'll get to that coming up in a coming episode or two, and plenty more to come. Level, great stuff, great information as usual.
Bang, bang. We'll do it again. Thank you for putting up with me this week, Woodman. I come to you from parts unknown. I appreciate you putting up with my wonky schedule, but it is the summer, and
All good.
this won't be the last time you have to deal with me on a wonky schedule. So, anyways, but yeah, appreciate it. We'll talk to everybody next time. Guns are always up, and house settlement, softball doesn't go so well, but hey, you're not going anywhere. Football season is up next, and away we go. Talk to everybody next time.
Fantastic. That's Chris Level. I'm Chois Woodman. This has been the Ask Level podcast, brought to you by Double T 97.3.
You've been listening to the Ask Level podcast, powered by Double T 97.3.